Hello guys, I've got a really exciting video today. A couple of weeks ago I was online and I saw some news about Timesplitters. So in the video today I'm going to do a short review on the game in 2021 because I haven't played it for a long time, and I'm going to talk about what I found online about Timesplitters when I've done some research. So I wanted to start by giving a brief review of the latest released Timesplitters, which is TimeSplitters Future Perfect, and that was released in 2005. And then I'm also going to talk about what this game's like playing it in 2021, because I think it's going to be very different, considering the game is nearly about 16 years old. So I think it's going to be very different playing it now to what it was when it first came out. What I wanted to bring up first was the graphics. Now I think you can tell already from the few clips you would have just seen, the graphics are nowhere near as good as graphics on recent games, and that's understandable. The game's 16 years old. The graphics aren't going to be anywhere near as good as most recent games. But to be honest, it doesn't really bother me, because if a game's enjoyable and fun to play, if it's not got the best graphics in the world, it doesn't really bother me. So Timesplitters not having the best graphics doesn't affect me. I enjoyed playing the game. Something that did bother me, however, was the aiming at characters. It's really hard to aim at characters. It's not accurate at all, and it's not like recent shooting games. Like recent shooting games have aim assists. From what I could tell, there's absolutely no aim assist. It's really hard to actually aim at a character, lock onto them, and shoot them. It took a long time to get used to that. That was probably the only thing about this game that I didn't like, that the shooting and the aiming is so old-fashioned. It was actually difficult. Besides the terrible aiming though, I actually really like this game. I had a nice surprise when I first loaded it up and started playing it, because I thought it was just the main story and then like an arcade mode where you can play, team deathmatch and stuff. But it really surprised me, because so you had the original arcade mode, and again I was very surprised at the amount of different arcade modes they had. So they had the normal, like team deathmatch, free for all, capture the bag, but they also had different ones that I've never played in any other game before. Like for example, there was a game called Virus, and basically one person was on fire, and that person's job was to set everyone else on fire, and everyone else's job was to avoid anyone else that's on fire. And the winner is the person who is last standing and hasn't been set on fire. So there was lots of little games in the arcade mode that were like that, that were really enjoyable. As well as the arcade mode, you had something called leagues, and in the leagues it was very different. There were 3 different leagues. So you'd start on League 1 and you'd complete all of the mini games inside them, and then you'd progress to the second league and then third league. And that was really fun, because there was lots of different mini games. You unlocked trophies depending on how well you done, and you unlocked characters as well along the way. So the better you done, the more characters you unlocked along the way, and that's a massive part of Timesplitters, is unlocking the characters. And then they had a very similar thing called challenges. It was similar to leagues, where loads of different mini games, and again you get rewarded with trophies and characters, and it's a really good part of the game because it keeps it fresh and it keeps it entertaining. I mean, they also have a map creator. I didn't actually give it a go, as I was replaying it, because I wanted to focus on the missions, and against the free play mode I wanted to focus on that, so I didn't really have a go at the map editor or the map creator. But that's another fun aspect that's been included in the game. So even with awful aiming and poor graphics, I really enjoyed this game. There's lots to do to keep you entertained. I actually had more fun playing this than I did this year's Call of Duty. One of my favourite things about this game is I like to see progression in games and seeing a reward for putting your time in, and with this you definitely do. So if you do a mission, for example, if you do the mission on easy, you unlock a character. If you do it on medium, you'll unlock another one. Then if you do it on hard, you'll unlock another one. So there's replay value, just replay value alone for the missions, and then there's lots of other stuff to do where it keeps you entertained and you unlock a lot of stuff. Now I want to talk about the future of Timesplitters. A lot of you might not know this, but because I didn't know at the time either, I just thought that Free Radical just stopped making Timesplitters, but it's not as simple as that. So back in 2009, Free Radical was taken over by a German company called Crytek. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but then Crytek was then shut down in 2014. And it's only recently in May 2021 that the original founders reformed the studio, and they're going to be working on the new Timesplitters. Now what I'm about to show you is a site from Polygon where I got some information from, so I'm just going to read what it says. The TimeSplitters series is officially returning. Publisher Deep Silver announced Wednesday that a new game in the time-travelling shooter series is in development at a newly reformed Free Radical design, the original studio behind the Timesplitters game. Free Radical design founder Steve Ellis and David Doak, hope I'm pronouncing that right, programmers and designers of the original Timesplitters and co-directors of 2005's TimeSplitters Future Perfect, have reunited to rebuild the studio. Ellis joined THQ Nordic, known as Embracer Group, in 2019 to help plot the future course for the Timesplitters franchise. And then finally, to be able to confirm that the studio has been formed and that we have a plan for the next Timesplitters game is incredible. Ellis, Free Radical Studio Development Director, said in a statement, "While we cannot tell you anything more at the moment, we will look forward to sharing information in the future." So from what I've found, we know that they are planning on developing a new Timesplitters. We know that they are rebuilding a studio to make the new Timesplitters. And from what they've told us, we know that they have a plan for the new Timesplitters. Does this mean we're going to get a new Timesplitters? No, it's not set in stone. It's so early days. In my opinion, I think that's why they said we cannot tell you anything more at the moment. We look forward to sharing information in the future. I think they've said that because they don't know themselves. All they know is they probably have their plan, like they've told us they have a plan, but nothing for themselves is probably set in stone. They don't actually know what they're going to be doing. It's very early days. They've probably just got the idea that they want to remake a new Timesplitters. But like I said, whether it's going to happen, because I like to be realistic, I really want a new Timesplitters, but it's such early days for this to be set in stone. All they've said is that they're planning on developing one. It does not mean that we're definitely going to be getting one. Now I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping we do get a new one, because I'm a really big TimeSplitters fan. I loved it when I was a kid, and I'm really excited about this news. Even though it's not set in stone, I'm really excited. And I think I'm really excited because we don't get much news very often. When we do get even a tiny bit of news, it's really exciting, and gets me hyped up, so I'm sure it gets other fans excited and hyped up as well. Now if they do make another Timesplitters, I hope it's going to be like a TimeSplitters Future Perfect 2.0, because I think that was probably the best of the Timesplitters, and it was really fun. Now if they do make one though, I want better graphics, and of course they will do, because the game's, the Future Perfect was released 16 years ago. Graphics have just enhanced drastically over the last 10-20 years. So let me know in the comments actually if you think this game will just be released on next gen, because that was another thing I was wondering, if it will just be released on next gen. So let me know in the comments if you think this game is going to be released, if you think it's going to be on all consoles or potentially just next gen. I want more characters, because I think that's a really big part of the game for Timesplitters. I want a longer story. Now the story is long, well it's a decent length anyway, but I'd like the missions just to be a little bit longer. And I want a good online included in the game, because back in the PS2 days, online gaming wasn't really a big thing, whereas now online gaming is it's a massive part of gaming. If they do an online thing, I hope they don't try and make it like Fortnite, because it seems to be games are trying to copy Fortnite. Take Call of Duty for example, that's just trying to copy exactly what Fortnite does, because it makes so much money. I'm hoping they don't release this game and then ruin it by making an online that's just copying Fortnite to make as much money as possible. But that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments if you think this game's actually going to be released.